Ariana Grande has become one of the biggest stars in music, breaking Billboard and Spotify records with every new release, creating weekly internet moments, winning Grammy Awards, and most of all dropping massive hit records. And with all that success, well, comes a lot of purchasing freedom. Most recently, Ariana bought herself and 6 of her closest friends matching diamond rings, replacing the one that she was previously rocking from her ex-fiance Pete Davidson. And according to Narcity.com, well, the Tiffany 7 ring set cost the close to $100,000 combined. Good friend. And like she told us on the track 7 Rings, if she wants it, then she got it. And on the song, she brags about her private jet, which could cost up to $10,000 per month. The NY crib that she says I bought just for the closet, well, it cost her about 16 million buckaroos. But it does include a private IMAX theater and a 70-foot pool. So I guess it's worth it. Invite me over, I'm gonna do a belly flop. She also said that happiness is the same price as red bottoms, so I guess that's around 725 bucks. So how much is Ariana worth? Well, according to Cosmopolitan, as of 2019, Ariana Grande is reportedly worth an insane $50 million. At only 25 years young, not bad. So where's all this money coming from? Now, it was recently announced that Ariana will be a 2019 Coachella headliner, and the price to perform at the iconic festival isn't cheap. She'll be taking home a reported $4 million to perform over the course of 2 weekends. But that's light work for her, as she makes close to $100 million on her world tours. But it's not just performing that's bringing in the cash. Ariana has her own fragrance line, endorsement deals, and more. But we're gonna be getting into all that in this video, here for you on The Rich Life. Now, as you guys know, I've been getting some help here on this channel. Not that I'm very rich, but I do have some employees. And one of them is Jeremy, who's been doing a bang up job, so I'm gonna let him take over. And let's give Jeremy some love in the comments down below. All right, here he goes.
Shout out to Michael, thanks for the intro. That's the GOAT right there. So I'm just trying to come close and bring you guys the facts. And if Michael is the fact god, then I'm just aiming to be something like the fact prince maybe. But I gotta put in the work first, I know. What's going on, good people out there in the comments section? My name is Jeremy Hecht. I hope you're having one heck of a day. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching this video. And today, I'll be taking you through the very rich life of the ponytailed pop princess, Ariana Grande. I've done other videos for this channel, including the rich life of Blueface and Cardi B, so definitely check those out after you finish watching this video. And like every rich life video, we'll pose a question now that you have to guess by the end of the video, and stick around to find out if you're right. Today's question is, how many bathrooms does Ariana have in her New York pad? But enough with the talking, let's get into the video. Ariana Grande has gone through more in the last few years than most people can imagine going through in a lifetime. She lost her ex-boyfriend, Mac Miller, rest in peace. She suffered post-traumatic stress disorder that has to be at the highest level of the condition after the incident in Manchester. And her fiance, Pete, broke up. But Ariana discovered self-love and a new perspective on life, as documented through Thank You Next. And people around the world related to her journey. With all that said, Ariana has undoubtedly become one of the most recognizable names in the world, and her fame has brought her to the point of being 25, sitting on 50 mil. So how did it all happen? Well, let's go back to the beginning. Ariana Grande Butera was born on June 26, 1993 in Boca Raton, Florida. She's of Italian descent. Her mother, Joanne Grande, was born in Brooklyn, New York, and was a CEO of a company that manufactures communications and safety equipment, while her father, Edward Butera, owned a graphic design firm in Boca Raton. Unfortunately, her parents separated when she was just 8 or 9 years old, but it brought her older half-brother Frankie into her life, who is also an entertainer and has a YouTube channel of his own. Ari was extremely close with her maternal grandmother Marjorie, and RIP to her grandpa, who actually told Ari that their last name should be pronounced Grande.
My brother was like, we should say Grande, it's so fun to like say it. It's like funny, it's like a funny name. And my grandpa, but I think of him and I grew up saying Grandy, and I think of my grandpa and I wish I said Grandy more.
Ariana began singing in the Fort Lauderdale Children's Theater, where she played her first role of Annie and had following roles in The Wizard of Oz and Beauty and the Beast. She had her first televised performance when she sang the Star-Spangled Banner as just a kid for the Florida Panthers. And from there, she didn't look back. She knew she wanted to be a famous singer when she grew up, so she met with managers in LA and was eventually cast in the Broadway musical 13 when she was just a year older than the show's title. But it was through Nickelodeon that she would get her first big break, appearing on the Victoria Justice starred show Victorious. She worked with a vocal coach to strengthen her range and started posting cover songs onto YouTube from some of the best singers ever, like Adele, Mariah, and Whitney. And as we know, she can hold her own amongst the legends. When a friend of Monty Lipman, who was the CEO of Republic Records, saw one of Grande's videos online, he sent the links to Lipman, who was so impressed with her vocal talent that he signed Ariana to a record deal. She released her debut album, Yours Truly, in 2013, which debuted at #1 on the US Billboard 200, and ever since then, her star has continued to rise, and with her growth and success has come an increase in cash flow. So before we get into what she spends her money on, let's answer the question you're all asking. How did she make so much of it? Well, her first album sold over 100K copies first week, but that was only the beginning of a long run for Ariana. Her second album produced 3 simultaneous top 10 singles on the Billboard Hot 100 charts with the songs Problem, Break Free, and Bang Bang, and this put her in the company of Adele as one of only 2 female artists to accomplish this feat. Her following effort, Dangerous Woman, was released in 2016, and the lead single of the same name debuted at #10 on Billboard. This made her the only artist in the history of the charts to have the lead single from each of her first 3 albums debut in the top 10. So if you couldn't tell, the girl probably makes a lot of money off of music royalties alone. But it's the tours that follow her albums that really bring in most of her earnings. According to Variety, Grande sold out concerts with attendance averaging around 10,500 per night, made her nearly $630,000 per night during her Dangerous Woman tour. That, along with $50,000 in merch, again, per night, allowed her to rake in $4.7 million every week of her tour. Every week! And that tour spanned over 5 continents and lasted for 7 straight months. So, all in all, Billboard reported that she made $71 million from that tour. Those numbers were kind of exhausting just to read. Wow. I remember bartending and being lucky if I could bring in $71 a night, let alone 71 million over the course of a few months. But if you're wondering if that tour was an anomaly, well, her sales seem to only be getting larger. Her 2015 honeymoon tour brought in a smaller number at only $40 million over 8 months. But with her Sweetener tour coming up and her fan base numbers at an all-time high, I have a feeling 100 mil for this tour isn't an unrealistic expectation. Ariana's income doesn't come strictly from ticket sales and #1 singles though. She has a fragrance deal with Luxe Brands that has produced 5 fragrances since 2015 and has brought in over $150 million in global sales as of 2017, according to Refinery29.com. And according to a report published by WWD, her 2018 line is projected to sell $50 million in its first 12 months. The CEO of Luxe Brands said, "When you get the right celebrity matched with an authentic brand, you can win at retail." She has a community talking about the brand and how much they love it. In 2017, the singer signed a year-long partnership with Reebok to be their ambassador, appearing in ads for the company and rocking their apparel on tour. And with over 100 million followers on Instagram, we can only guess that partnership deal had to be in the millions. She also did a deal with Guess for product placement in her Side to Side music video with Nicki Minaj, which I'm sure they paid a decent penny for because the video now has over 1.5 billion views. So, finally, let's get to the real reason you're all here. What does Ariana spend her earnings on? Let's start with cars. Ariana likes to keep it simple when it comes to her wheels, and she tends to stick with her all-white Range Rover. She does have drivers, but she can occasionally be spotted driving it herself. She also owns a white Mercedes E-Class Cabriolet that she doesn't drive very often. Ari also has a song called Cadillac Song, where she says, "Riding round in my Cadillac thinking about the first day I saw you." So we have to believe that she either has, or at one point had a Cadillac, because I don't want to think of her as a liar. In terms of clothes, Ariana has some lavish fits. She recently posted a custom gown from Zac Posen, and on his website dresses range anywhere from $300 to over $1,000. So I'm guessing if you're gonna get one custom made, it'll run you back at least a few Ariana Grandes. I promise that's the only time I'm gonna make that joke in this whole video. I was holding back this whole time, but I just couldn't help myself. All right, I'm done, I promise. Back to the video. I couldn't resist. She stays strapped with some hair extensions to make sure that ponytail is looking top notch, and those run anywhere from $1K to $5K depending on how much it costs from celebrity hair designer Tokyo Styles. And we all know about her signature cat ears, but even those look like they've gotten more expensive over the years. At the 2018 Billboard Music Awards, she was wearing an $169,000 choker called the Cleveland Choker, which kind of sounds like something dirty, but anyways, it was made by the Paris-based jeweler house Jula, which is a dope name. But in what seems like a plot straight out of Ocean's 8, the chain went missing close to the end of the performance. It was eventually found and it had a little damage, but I can only imagine how stressed the owner of the jewelry store was while watching that performance live. Ariana also got a new grill on her bottom teeth, which will run her back a few K. And it wasn't too long ago that Ariana could be spotted wearing a massive engagement ring courtesy of her ex-fiance Pete Davidson that was worth close to 100 grand. But instead of keeping her finger bare after their breakup, she decided to replace the ring with one that represents strength, self-love, and loyalty instead. She bought her and her 6 best friends matching rings from Tiffany's that NarCity.com estimates to cost around $13K each. When I'm down, my friends usually just buy me $13 worth of McDonald's. But hey, that cheers me up just fine, so I'm good with that. Grande has been through a lot in the past couple of years, and the breakup with her fiance must have been unimaginably hard to deal with, knowing all of the other things that happened to her. But luckily, it seems like the singer has some great friends because when she was going through it one day in New York, her friends took her out to get her mind off of things. In response to a fan, she tweeted this: Ariana bought her 6 closest friends matching rings, and like she says on the song, bought matching diamonds for 6 of my bitches. I'd rather spoil all my friends with my riches. She listed off the friends who actually received the rings in this tweet and also says 2 more rings were bought, but after the song was written. In the video for Thank You Next, she was seen rocking a Mean Girls inspired A-chain, which is 14 karat white gold and is worth $520. You can actually purchase the piece on the jewelry brand Chamois online website. Prior to her split with Pete, the two purchased a New York apartment worth around $16 million that apparently came with one of the only private IMAX movie theaters in the world, with just 12 seats that you can only reserve if you're a resident of the complex. It also includes a 75-foot pool, and if that wasn't enough, then you could head down to the entire floor of the building that was dedicated to health and wellness that includes a private spa, steam room, sauna, and a plunge pool. I don't even know what a plunge pool is, but it sounds like some rich people shit. The building also includes on-site valet parking because why park your car when you can have someone do it for you every day? And according to Architectural Digest, it was more than 4,000 square feet and included 4.5 bathrooms. I still don't know how you can have half a bathroom, but maybe I'm just not there yet financially, and one day I'll understand. So there's your answer to the question, and somebody please explain to me why I'm an idiot for not understanding how houses work. Ari moved to Manhattan from her prior Beverly Hills mansion that from the pictures looks absolutely insane with a beautiful view of the Hollywood Hills. I can't confirm if she's currently staying there now that her and Pete are no longer together, but let me say this: a mansion in the hills is far from a consolation prize, and it's not just any mansion. It's one that has 5 bathrooms, which is 0.5 more than her NY pad, 5 bedrooms, a private walkway to her garden, which she has, and a pool that is overlooking the Hollywood Hills right in her backyard. As for the future, I can only assume that things will continue to get brighter for Ariana. Her last album basically shut down the whole internet, and I'm guessing that there have been hundreds of thousands of unsolicited break up with your girlfriend, I'm bored texts sent over the last couple of weeks. I'm also looking forward to seeing her at Coachella in April, and I will definitely be bringing the Kleenex box for when Ghosting comes on live. I could say it's for my girl, but I'm gonna be getting emotional. And don't lie, I know that song gets you in your feelings too out there if you're watching this. But as for this video, that's it. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on any of our daily uploads. As always, I'm Jeremy Heck for Famous News. Let us know who to cover next in the comments down below. Dream good, live better, and I hope you have one heck of a day. I'll see you in the next video.